Okay, welcome everyone. We have a full house. I'll call the meeting to order of the Board of Directors of Trinity Metro at 3:02 on August 18th. And the first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Isaac, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No love for the Texans. It's always like my secret classes that I know the Texans.
And out of order, but within our purview, we'd like to introduce John Hinojosa, a new member of the board, and welcome. And I asked him to speak for 30 minutes. He declined. But we will have to swear him in. So, Joel, if you could swear in Mr. Hinojosa, he can become an official member of the board.
Real briefly, I state your name,
I, John Hinojosa,
do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of the Board of Directors
of the Office of Board of Directors
of the Fort Worth Transportation Authority
of the Fort Worth Transportation Authority
of the State of Texas,
of the State of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
to preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and the laws
the Constitution and the laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of this state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
There you go.
Welcome, John. We're pretty bashful here, so. The first item, we're going to go after citizen comments out of respect for the people present. We're going to have citizen comments, and then we'll go into closed session for a few minutes. But the next order of business is the public hearing regarding service fall changes for fall of 2025. Phil?
Yes. All right. Thank you. My name is Phil Dupler. I'm the Director of Planning here at Trinity Metro. And I'm here today to present the recommended service changes to the fixed route bus system for the fall. These recommendations do involve some minor reductions in service, but have been designed to help the agency meet its budget objectives for the upcoming fiscal year. So a little bit about how Trinity Metro approaches service changes. We get the service planning office starts with customer feedback, and the customer service team gets a lot of calls and emails, and they let the planning department know if there are any new requests or if there are any new problems that the planning department needs to look at. Sometimes you may see envoys out intercepting customers and conducting interviews. And from surveys, we learn where passengers are going and coming from. And one of the most critical statistics that we look into is the ridership. And we use the boarding and lighting counts to understand demand and look for potential to make adjustments. We also monitor the route performance to make sure all the routes are able to stay on time. And the planning team then assesses all of this information. We formulate multiple objectives, develop multiple options, and we estimate the cost or savings from each. And then ultimately we'll recommend some proposed changes. Now we can make small changes like adjusting a schedule administratively, but when we make a big change, such as elimination of a route, then we have to hold a public hearing and let the board of directors decide, which is what we're having right now. So, a quick rundown. One route is proposed to be discontinued due to low ridership. I'll describe Route 12 in a moment. in detail. One of our service planners recognized an opportunity to save money by interlining 2 routes, 21 and 22, which I'll also describe. And lastly, we've identified individual trips, mostly late evening and the very early morning hours, among 16 routes that may be eliminated for efficiency. This map on slide 4 shows that the proposed changes are spread quite evenly across the city of Fort Worth and throughout our system. I'll start with the 3 largest changes. Route 12, which runs 7 days a week, is proposed for elimination because it has quite a small ridership impact relative to its large budget savings. I mentioned Route 21 and 22 can be interlined together for a significant boost in efficiency with only minor adjustments, and will actually benefit most riders. And I'll go into some details on these on the next slides, but altogether we're impacting just fewer than 7% of our fixed route bus passengers. So Route 12, the dots on the map, little blue dots, show where boardings and lightings have occurred. The area circled in red to the upper right is showing where that area is between Northside Station and the Mercantile Station. And it's a very industrial area. It serves only approximately 20 passengers per day on Route 12. And it's also an area that's covered by the Mercantile on-demand service. And we expect that many of the riders in that area will shift to the on-demand. The majority of the riders actually board along portions of the route that parallel the orange line on Main and 28th Street in that area around the stockyards. And the portion just south of Belknap in downtown boards about 6 a day. That's not including the Central Station, but those are within walking distance to Route 11. And the southern segment is kind of circled in orange on the map on the right at the bottom is along Samuels Avenue. That carries typically only 3 or 4 passengers a day in that area. And that is the only part that's not within walking distance to another route. And our bike share team is currently looking for an opportunity to put a station somewhere along that Samuels Avenue. So whenever we do propose a route for discontinuation, equity analysis and a public hearing is required because it's a major service change. And so we've done that. The population, the low-income population that's within a quarter mile of Route 12 is not enough to be considered a disproportionate burden, however, under Title VI analysis criteria. But however, it's a very heavily minority area, much more than the service area as a whole, and thus discontinuation could be considered a disparate impact to minorities. However, that's only evaluating the fixed route. We also have to consider that 40% of the population is within a quarter of a mile of another bus route or rail station, and 69% are within the on-demand zone. So it's only a very small part of the population along Route 12 that would actually be left without a public or transit alternative. And this board meeting serves as the official public hearing, but staff has also conducted 3 public meetings to gather input. 20 people attended, and your board packet on page 15 to 19 contains the comments a summary of the comments that we've collected at those meetings, along with the sign-in sheets. And we had 2 others that responded by email. I mentioned that Route 21 and 22 can be interlined with only a slight adjustment to the schedule at Dr. Dennis Duncan's Transit Center. Interlining basically means that when a route comes to the end of its route, it changes its head sign and then continues on as another route. And one of our staff recognized that now that Route 25, which connects at the Dennis Duncan's Transfer Center, is now also at a 15-minute frequency, it's no longer as critical to what we call pulse on the 20s and 50s, 20 minutes after the hour, 50 minutes after the hour, as it once was. And so by making a small change to the schedule, we can allow those two routes to interline and eliminate the excess layover that was scheduled in that line that was intended to make that pulse happen. And so it's an efficiency for the operations, saving about $18,000 a year, but it also helps the passengers because at the other end of the line of the Walmart where they'll interline, passengers who would normally have waited there for one of the other buses and transferred would no longer have to wait and transfer. So there's a positive benefit to that, as well as the savings. In addition, we've analyzed the ridership on a trip-by-trip basis for total of the other 16 routes and identified 36 trips, mostly in the wee hours of the morning or very late in the evenings, that carry a small number of people. So we've put that on the slide here. 102 boardings total would be affected, and for a significant savings. For those of you who were at the board retreat in May, you've seen this slide before Tara presented this, and I know it's hard to read on the screen. Hopefully you can see it better in your packet, but not including changes to Route 4, which is still being considered for the next spring. This service change results in a savings of about $2.5 million a year, and the service change that's eliminating Route 12 is $1.4 million by itself, or about 57% of the total savings. So the action item is on page 3 of your packet. I mentioned the public comments collected via the meetings are on pages 15 to 19 in your packet. Staff recommends the board authorize the president and chief executive officer to implement the proposed service changes on September 28, 2025. Do I have any questions?
This is a public hearing. Do we have any comments on these service changes from any member of the public? I see no hands raised, and we'll close that portion of the public hearing, and we'll go into the action item. Does the Board of Directors have any comments or questions about these service changes?
I'd just like to say Rachel and I both were able to attend different meetings, but y'all did a really great job, and appreciate y'all attending. You know, we would all like to have more attendance at those meetings, but with the people who were there at each one, you still really did a great job interacting with them specifically on their questions, and so thank you to the team that was at all of those.
Thank you.
I would like to ask a question to the public hearing process. The notifications of the public hearing and including the ridership that we know of, how were they notified, or the community were notified of the
So the biggest thing that we do to get to or the most effective thing is we put notices on the bulkheads in the bus. So right behind the driver is where we post all of our public notices. And so as people are walking out of the bus, they'll see that notice of the public hearing on the board of the buses. So we usually put those out a couple of weeks in advance of the public meetings. But we actually had 3 over a period of about 3 weeks total in July. So they were out ahead of the first one. So they were out quite a while.
Did we do any social media?
Yes, the marketing team had posted the social media. Glenn could probably answer about that.
Okay.
Was released to our subscribers that sent for topics about public meetings.
Yes.
Thank you.
I noticed you had a statistic of 69% of the people in a particular area were able to use our dollar ride service. And also 40% were near TexRail. Was there any overlap of that?
Yes, there is. It's hard to separate them. We kind of analyze them individually, so I don't really know what the total is of the two without the overlap. I'm sorry, I didn't calculate that, but yes, there's a little bit of overlap.
Any other questions or comments from the board? Yeah.
I would just like to give credit to our team for approaching a request to look with very close eyes on the performance of our service. It's something that we do here every quarter, every year, is look to assess the performance of every route that we operate and to determine where those resources are best spent. So in a world of finite resources, we want to make sure we're serving the maximum number of people in our community. These conversations are never easy because inevitably someone is impacted, right? And we take that very seriously. But the ultimate goal is what can we do with the resources we're given to serve the most people in the most efficient way possible. And so I want to give the team credit for approaching this challenge with a fresh set of eyes, using data, being analytical, data-driven, and listening to the customers. And so I think we got to a result. There were a few things that didn't make the cut that are not in the proposal. So we did propose things, we heard feedback and decided those recommendations didn't make sense. But on the whole, this is a great effort, and I just want to thank the team for their work.
Rich, can I ask a clarifying question? You mean recommendations from the public hearings, concerns that were voiced? The next step was we're going to go back and we're going to do our level best to resolve these for the maximum number of people that we can without losing our goal, losing sight of our goal for efficiency. Yeah.
That's exactly right. And I would refer you to page, Phil, can you help me out here? There's a...
The notes, the summary is on 15 to 19.
Yeah, I have the summary.
Yeah.
And then if you'll see here, there's on page 13, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there are items on the list that are stricken, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, there was one that we looked at a Route 4 that we're still looking at. It's a possibility for next spring, but we chose not to include it in this package of changes.
And do we have, is there any, like a record of, these all are redacted, of course, like attendee shared concerns about X, Y, and Z. Is there a way, like, where people express significant concern, like we do with community engagement, like to go back and say, we heard you say this, here's what we were able to do, and the reason I ask is because it's so hard to get people to engage, to get the community to engage, and when people do take the time and effort to show up to the maximum degree that we can, it would be really nice to go back and have some interaction with them to say, we heard you, this is what we were able to do, and this is what we're not able to do, but just somehow to circle back.
Yeah, I appreciate the spirit of that comment. Phil, are you able to comment on that specifically? On that?
Well, we have the attendance. I don't know that we have it connected who made what comment, though.
The email comments for sure, yes.
Yes.
We can do those. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, agree wholeheartedly with the spirit of your comment, which is if someone bothers to submit a comment, they deserve a response, even if the response is, we heard you, but this is in the best interest of the sort of the larger goal we're trying to accomplish. Yeah. I mean, the Route 12 is an example of we're taking away a bus service. There is a bike share station in that area currently. We're seeing if we install another one to the north on Samuels, right?
Yeah, right.
These are always difficult discussions where you have coverage and people depend on that coverage for vital services. And it's just one of those things that we just have so much income and we need to do the best we can. And I agree, I think we ought to go back and communicate with those folks and tell them
And
what
have
we were able to do.
somehow engage some of our community partners or something. Because to Chris's question earlier, a lot of times, these are all middle-class means of communication. And it's not always the middle class that's getting cut out of service. And so email, website, and I don't want to reduce people to socioeconomic status, but the degree to which we can make sure that where there have been disruptions, we can partner with the community. We can do everything that we can to make sure that people fully understand and it doesn't cause a significant disruption to their lives in a way that, and maybe I'm overthinking it. And I know, and this is not in any way, I'm not disagreeing with the process. It's just, now that the decisions have been made, how do we make sure that harm is mitigated to the communities that are impacted?
I'll tell you what, we'll put our heads together on an after action here. We do have email information for each of the attendees, correct?
I think most of them.
Right.
Put their email. I think most share.
So we'll put our heads together about how to follow up.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, this is an action item.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The motion carries unanimously. Thank you all. Thank you, Phil, for your excellent work.
Great. Thanks.
Our next order of business is citizen comments. And I do have a card here from David Reeves. Mr. Reeves, are you in attendance? Would you like to speak?
Yes.
Come on down.
I'm good. My name is Dave Reeves. For the record, I'm the president, principal officer of Teamster Local 767. And I appreciate the board taking our time today to listen to our comments and understand the reason we're here today. Sister Charlotte, I'd agree with you 100%. To get people to show up to these meetings and engage themselves and understand what is going on around them within themselves and their community is very important. And as you can see, the support that we have here today, that's the reason we're here. We are in collective bargaining agreement with MAPS, and we just want the board to understand you're going to be put into a position to make decisions. And as you can see, this place is full of people that live in this community and work and have, through crucial times, kept this bus line moving and absolutely has been profitable through some very tough times throughout this city. We are in the middle of negotiations. We have several sessions left. My opinion, we're kind of far apart. That's why we're here. We're looking for some decisions to be made to take care of every one of these folks standing out here today that have kept this city moving. They should be rewarded for the sacrifices that they've made. And there's some things that they're looking for, not to break anybody, just to be fair across the board. That's simple. That's all our message is today here for is when you guys do make decisions, we hope that you keep everybody out here along with this community in your thoughts when you make those very difficult decisions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Later in the meeting, I'm going to make some comments as the chair, but I wanted to read something while y'all were here. It's just a letter, and I don't ever read letters. But it was so interesting to have this letter from a professor at Texas A&M Law School talk about the buses are clean and well maintained, creating a pleasant environment for all passengers. More importantly, struck by the professionalism and friendliness of every bus driver I've encountered. Courteous demeanor, helpful attitude truly enhance the daily commuting experience. They're conveniently arriving on regular intervals, allowing me to usually plan my schedule with confidence. So that's what we try and do. We've all worked to get a better system to create safe, clean, on-time performance, and the courteousness cannot be overstated. This is just a testament to the hardworking people that go out every day and do what you guys do. So I appreciate you being here. I'll close this portion of the public hearing. And we'll go into an executive session.
It's still open.
Yep.
Right?
It's still open if somebody would.
Citizen comments. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't have any more comments.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's all right. one card.
Okay.
So at this time, The Board of Directors will convene an executive session under Texas Open Meetings Act for the consultation with its attorney pursuant to Section 551.071, deliberations regarding real property pursuant to Section 551.072, deliberations regarding prospective gifts pursuant to Section 551.073, deliberations regarding personnel matters pursuant to Section 551.074, deliberations regarding security devices pursuant to Section 551.076, or deliberations regarding economic development negotiations pursuant to 551.087. Given those parameters, we'll briefly adjourn, go into an executive session. Thank you all for attending. We'll call this meeting back to order.
Christine? Now, what city are you in? What city are you in?
Yeah. We'll call the meeting back to order. There's no action items related to the executive session, so we will proceed with our agenda.
I don't think the mic.
Testing? Yeah, we're going to proceed with the agenda. There's no action items related to the executive session. And the first order of business now is the meeting minutes from June 16th.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the minutes. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. We have several information items and reports. We'll start with Brad.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Brad Beeson. I'm manager of rail operations. I'm here today to provide the update on the on-time performance and ridership for TexRail and TRE. If you'll turn to page 24 in your packet, 24, 25, and 26. TexRail continues to have increased ridership numbers, as you can see, for the past 2 months of June and July. In the month of June, we had a ridership of almost 72,000 riders, which is a 9% increase. And in July, just over 78,000 riders, which is around a 12% increase over the same time last year. These numbers can be attributed to more people finding out about TexRail, along with some additional programs that we've started. We've partnered with DFW Airport to allow their workers to use the DFW North Station as parking as a means of getting into Terminal B, easing congestion on their parking constraints as they're going through construction with the new Terminal F. Also, as Annette may speak in her presentation coming up, is the addition of the Storytime trains that we had in July, which added just over 3,000 riders in the 4 weeks it was offered. TRE also continues to operate at a high ridership, as we were up collectively around 5% over June and July compared with last year, with around 105,000 rides each month. Both railroads operated well above the 98% on-time performance standard set forth, even with a few incidents that caused some timely delays. Our rail safety continues to operate at 2,776 days injury-free, which equates to over 7.5 years without an injury. And with that, I will answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Brad? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Reed. Chief Reed.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Reed Lanham. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Trinity Metro. Thank you. I'm blushing. I'm here to give you an information item that has to deal with the World Cup, but before I do that, there's something very important I wanted to address first. As you are all aware, on July 3rd, we had a very tragic incident aboard the TRE as it was coming into Central Station. That afternoon, there was an altercation between two passengers that resulted in one being shot by the other. The situation could have been a lot worse and a lot more serious if it weren't for the professionalism and the quick action of our crew that day. We've actually got them here today and wanted to thank them in person and give you guys a chance to show our collective gratitude for their actions. There's 4 members of our TRE crews that were on the train that day that helped clear the passengers, get them to safety out of the car where the altercation took place. And I will say our engineer that day actually took it upon himself to pull long at the station to protect anyone who may be on the platforms from any resulting gunfire. So with that, I'd love to invite up to the front to congratulate you. Arturo Alvarado, Chris Brown, Clayton Coble, and LaHonda Cook.
Board, let's do a photo.
Yeah, because of the drowning applause that we experienced for our professional crew members, I'm going to repeat their names really quick. It was Clayton Coble, Chris Brown, LaHonda Cook, and Arturo Alvarado. So again, you heard Brad give a report of the strong ridership and on-time performance that we get to experience on our rail systems, and that is directly due to the efforts of our professional crews and the folks on the ground that come to work every day and are committed to providing that level of excellence. So again, we thank you. Hello. Moving on to a much more exciting topic, the World Cup. So as you may have heard, the World Cup is coming to North Texas next summer. In preparation for that, the TRE has been tabbed as a centerpiece of the mobility plans that we have here in the region. This is going to be a region-wide effort, and to support that and the increased amount of ridership and participation, the TRE staff, along with the folks at DART and Trinity Metro, have gotten together, and to meet those needs, we're going to need to lease some equipment from our partners up north in Minnesota at North Star. This is an information item only. There's no action required. The Council of Governments has granted DART a grant to completely fund this lease. We'll be receiving 1 locomotive, 3 coach cars, and a cab car to supplement our fleet and help to meet the demand that's going to be created next summer. Again, like I said, no action is taken on part of Trinity Metro. We just wanted to make sure the board was aware of that and our ongoing efforts to prepare for the World Cup. So, moving on, I think I'm still on the agenda. I've got a brief presentation for you guys on the planning efforts. Again, like I said, FIFA is going to be a large deal. There's going to be 9 games over 2 months, which each one tabbed to be a Super Bowl-like event. That's going to require close coordination between the transit agencies and the local municipalities here in the region. I'm going to try to work this, which is always probably not a good idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. Oh, look at that. I guess I learned a thing or two over the past couple of weeks. So here's just a brief schedule of what the game days look like. There's still a lot of planning going on, a lot of talking, and I can tell you from personal experience, a lot of meeting going on right now. There's still some unknowns that are out there. Things will start to get firmed up towards the end of this year when we find out where the teams are going to be placed, because this, again, is taking place all across the North American continent. Here are some of the key locations that have already been tabbed in the Metroplex area. You can see in Fort Worth, TCU is going to be a training site. There's some watch parties being planned possibly at Sundance Square. And then again, Central Station is going to be hopping, for lack of a better term. Here's just a quick snapshot of our existing regional transit. By this time next year, that dotted silver line going out to Plano that'll be a solid line. Our partners at DART are getting closer and closer to opening the silver line, and we're working closely with them on that as well. Here's the route to the stadium. Right now, what is planned, again, TRE is the centerpiece. We're going to try to funnel everyone to the train, and the plan that we've worked with at the Council of Governments, FIFA, the Dallas Sports Commission, is Victory Station in Dallas and Fort Worth Central here in Fort Worth will be kind of the focal points. We're going to have to increase the frequency on the TRE to 30-minute headways during game days, and we're going to have to expand the consist size from a 3-car consist to 4. Right? That's going to allow us more capacity and be able to move more people more efficiently. The people will be taken who ride TRE to the Centerport station, where in concert with COG and FIFA, we'll have charter buses that will take them from Centerport down to Lot H at AT&T Stadium, and that's where they'll be able to go to the game. It'll be the exact reverse upon completion of the game and return to either city. In concert with the TRE system, we're also going to have, for lack of a better term right now, a bus bridge that's going to be supplemental to the TRE, where we want to keep people moving. We prefer not to have thousands of people milling around at Central Station for 30, 40 minutes at a time. So once a train fills up and leaves, we're going to direct the people to buses that will, again, follow I-30 to the stadium to try to keep people moving as quickly as possible. We'll continue to keep you guys updated on our progress. And again, I can't stress enough how big of a planning effort this is. Every single department at Trinity Metro is gearing up for this. Everyone is fully involved and invested, whether it's the planning department, the operations, procurement, facilities. It doesn't matter who you are, we're all going to be affected by this, and we understand that it's an opportunity for us to show what Trinity Metro can do, and that's how we're looking at this. This is a good opportunity for us to kind of show off. So if you have any questions, I would love to take them now. Hearing none.
You have a comment?
Yes, sir.
Our president.
Yeah, this is an opportunity for Texas to shine, and not only Trinity Metro, but to show the world what we're all about here. I'll just point out that there's currently no transit option to Arlington. So, yeah, you might have heard. We are very happy to step up and again show what Trinity Metro is capable of, but I'll point out that there's a cost to doing this. And so there is a conversation regionally about who's paying, as well as a conversation with our representatives in Washington, because our location here is not the only location that'll be hosting World Cup events. There'll be World Cup events throughout North America. I'm just sort of pointing this out as an opportunity for conversation going forward. If we're still going to play in an international stage, this gap in limit in our donut hole in the transit system has to be addressed. Los Angeles will be hosting the Olympics in 2028. We certainly can be contenders for events like that, but we're going to have to get serious as a region about access and regional transportation.
Thank you, Rich. Yes, we are.
I just have a comment. I mean, if it's me, I'm jumping on the bus bridge. I'm not getting on the train, getting on a bus, taking that bus bridge. I'm getting on the first bus bridge. Didn't we have plans to service Rangers games? Like, there plans on the shelf somewhere?
Yes.
Let's do that pilot program for this. And then, Reed, I
didn't want to participate, Isaac.
I know, obviously, but this is a great time to participate in this. And then what's going to be your answer to the guy from Bogota or Curitiba when they get here and are like, what is this? I mean, this is the opportunity for me is to highlight, yes, this is a great organization, but there is a huge hole in our transit. So I look forward to that revealing itself.
It's not the first time we've heard that comment.
I know, I'm sorry. Thank you, Jeff.
I have a question. we will have a lot of out-of-town visitors, but I'm suggesting us guessing that we'll also have some locals that want to participate in this ridership. Have we prepared for parking for people who want to come down here and park and take transit to Arlington?
That's one of the things we are working on planning for. We understand that's going to be a constraint. Parking's going to be at a premium during these games, these next 2 months. So we're looking at all the options that we have available for parking, whether it's Trinity Lake Station that we recently built. That's a brand new parking lot in the area. But yeah, all those factors are being considered.
Yeah, so I think to Rich's point and even to Isaac's point that if we're going to show ourselves as the model for transit from Fort Worth to Arlington to Dallas, then we want to make sure we take care of our locals to say, hey, when there's a Cowboys game here, you should be riding the bus, even though they're not ready for it, But old school Baptist preachers say, we'll take it by force.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
We try. We will continue trying.
Thank you. But really consider the parking.
Appreciate that comment, Chris. Thank you, Reed. Mr. Brown.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Jeff Brown, Chief Safety Officer here at Trinity Metro. Today I'm here to talk about, present with you an informational item regarding bus operator barrier doors and how it relates to the growing concern of assaults on transit workers. So starting on page 30 of your packet is a brief presentation. So as you know, our priority is to provide a safe environment to both our employees as well as our passengers. Bus operators are at the forefront of public transportation, and unfortunately they are occasionally put into situations where they are susceptible to both verbal and physical attacks. In recent years, there has been an unfortunate trend around the United States of aggression towards public transit operators. This has led to not only to occasional hostile environments for our employees, but also for our passengers. As you can see from the numbers at the bottom of this slide, Trinity Metro has experienced an increase in assaults on transit workers over the last 2 years, and these numbers are also very similar to what our peers across the United States have experienced as well. In 2024, the Federal Transit Administration issued a general directive instructing transit agencies to complete a risk assessment on this topic. As a result of our internal assessment, we were able to identify bus operator barrier doors as a key part of our efforts to reduce both physical and non-physical assaults on bus operators. The purpose is to replace the existing plexiglass shields that were originally installed during COVID, at the time which was the intent of which was to protect our operators from airborne germs. Some of the benefits of improved barrier doors, they protect operators against physical attacks and thrown objects, reducing the risk of injury. There's increased operator confidence, knowing that they are safer, which leads to improved job satisfaction, mental and physical health, and reduced absenteeism. It provides a safer environment for our passengers by deterring threats, and it increases ridership confidence as the public is more likely to use public transportation when they feel safe. As you can see from this image, barrier doors are installed between the operator's seat and the passenger area of the bus, providing a barricade to prevent passengers from reaching the operator. They're made of sturdy materials and are intended to work in combination with our other existing efforts to prevent assaults such as de-escalation, video communication systems, and other security procedures. So are there any questions that I can answer for you on this topic at this time?
Can you talk about video surveillance?
Yes, sir. So each of our fixed route buses has a total of 8 cameras on it. 4 of them, actually 5 of them, capture some form of the inside of the bus with audio by the driver's area. So in most cases, we're able to use that video surveillance when something has occurred and turn that over to law enforcement to prevent it from happening again.
Is that announced, or is there a placard which said?
There is a sign on the bus that says, yes, you are under video surveillance. Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you.
So are there any other questions that I can answer for you? If not, I will return later with a board action item to further wrap up this topic. All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Vera? Okay.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tara Crawford. I'm the Assistant Vice President of Planning Development. So I'm going to give you a brief update on our General Planning Consultant contract. That's the GPC. As a reminder, this was actually procured and was signed November 28th, 2022. It was originally a 3-year contract, which will be ending later this year. To make sure that we are having continuity with existing tasks, we're going to be extending it for a couple of tasks over the next couple of years. That will be the FTA TexRail Transit-Oriented Development Planning Grant, a TexRail DMU Vehicle Commissioning Support, and then we'll also be working with Chris Garbos. But however, to go with our new long-term strategic needs, we're going to be reprocuring the GPC starting in fiscal year 26. So we'll be looking for a new consultant to go continue our GPC efforts. So that's all for right now. Let me know if you have any questions or comments or concerns. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. Hi, Annette.
Hi. Good afternoon, everyone. Annette Landeros, Chief Strategy Officer. I'm excited to share a ridership update and how we are trending for this fiscal year. You will see on the first slide, page 36 of your packet, this sort of emphasizes what we ended at the third quarter. We are currently striving towards our ambitious goal that we presented to you all at the end of last fiscal year of 8.4 million rides. I would like to note that our 2019 ridership pre-COVID was actually 7.9 million rides. So we are feeling very confident that we are going to exceed the 2019 rides officially system-wide and really exceed that 8 million mark. And we hope to get really close to that 8.4. We may be slightly under, but we are striving and really implementing some new initiatives that we'll tell you about shortly to help reach that ambitious goal. On the next page, page 37, you'll note where we are trending month by month. You will see we experienced a bit of a dip in November compared to last year. Last November, we had 40 days of free rides to celebrate our 40th anniversary. So that caused a large increase in ridership last November. And so this year, we did not have that initiative. And so you'll notice a significant decrease there. Also, the winter months are always our slower months due to weather. And also, that is the time period where our bike stations came offline. And so Trinity Metro Bikes was actually not in service until they started back up in February. So you'll just notice a slight decrease there, but we are trending up. And then we'll take a look at them by mode. The bus, our bus has been performing at or slightly above for the majority of the year in terms of ridership. In July, we were very close to remaining at steady with just a couple of hundred difference in ridership for that month. On TexRail, you'll notice a huge increase. We do want to note that we think Storytime Train had a little something to do with that. We were very happy for those folks that joined us for that. We were thrilled to welcome new families to the Trinity Metro system. On the next page, page 40, you'll see TRE also trending at or slightly above for the majority of the year. There was a slight decrease where it dipped in February, again, possibly due to weather. And then on-demand and paratransit continues to remain strong with 29,000 folks riding on-demand in July. And then shifting on to on-demand the microtransit, you'll notice here there was a decrease from last year. You may ask why. Part of it is that we've been focusing a little bit less. We've been really shifting into the commingling of paratransit, where paratransit riders who previously needed to call the call center to schedule their rides can now access it on demand on their app and increase independence that way. So we've really been focusing on that commingling service. And additionally, we have been exploring the appropriate use of microtransit and have been decreasing a little bit on the marketing side of things to really understand what that's going to look like for the future of Trinity Metro in the future. And then on the next page, you will see our van pool on page 43. We're really proud to say that our van pool continues to remain strong, and we're really thrilled and grateful for the vote that you all took to continue to support van pool. And we have seen the folks continue to ride and enroll, and Deetra's been working really hard to continue to grow that program. But they have been at or above a goal or last year's ridership all throughout the year. And then, Mike, the next page, bikes, you'll notice that's where you'll see a little bit of the dip because bikes came offline in December, and little by little, all the stations were put back into place, brand new stations, brand new bikes. But you've noticed that trended upward in April, where we were having great weather. It's a little warm now in June and July, so we're expecting that also had to do with the decrease in bike ride. But we're really proud to have that all of our stations back in operations. And then others, as just all of our other services that we may provide additional ridership there, you'll just kind of see that kind of hold steady. Now, building momentum to the future and where we've really been focusing our attention on page 46. We are actively investing in strategic partnerships and innovative services throughout Fort Worth and Tarrant County to really think holistically about who we want to be and how we want to show up to the community. We want to cultivate the next generation of riders. We want to ensure that families who may be interested in transit but have never taken the opportunity to ride have opportunities to do that. So you may have noticed we have launched several amazing initiatives. Storytime Train, a family-friendly experience where we welcomed riders all throughout the month of July and the beginning of August. Deetra will be giving a full report on what that looked like. But we're really glad to say that overall we heard a resounding request for more activities like that from all the families that participated on every train. And some of you who were guest readers, you noticed when we asked, is this your first time on TexRail? About 50% on every train rose their hand that this was their first time on our system. So we're really glad that Storytime Train was able to provide that avenue for them to join us and feel welcomed by Trinity Metro. Additionally, we are very excited about our new Fort Worth ISD partnership, something that we've been working on alongside Fort Worth ISD for the last couple of months and is getting ready to launch. And there will be an action item for you all to vote on later. But this is a collaboration that Trinity Metro felt who are our strategic partners where it could be a win-win for all organizations. We knew that Fort Worth ISD does have their own transportation system, but that really helps folks or the children get to and from school. But we knew that the students could use some additional support when it came to extracurricular activities or internships or jobs and having transportation options for that. So we, with Fort Worth ISD, are hoping that we'll be able to launch a partnership where all high school students in Fort Worth ISD are able to ride our bus and rail and paratransit service for free. Hopefully, this will, via their Go Pass, open their eyes to the possibilities of transit. It will hopefully really get them excited to explore how they can continue to take advantage of opportunities throughout their community by using transit. And hopefully they will grow to be transit enthusiasts in the future if they are able to really adopt at an early age where perhaps they don't have cars yet. So I'm excited to welcome our partner in this venture, Superintendent Dr. Karen Molinar, who's here with us today to just tell you a little bit more about this partnership and what it means from the Fort Worth ISD side.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be here this afternoon, but more importantly, thank you for this partnership. As Annette shared, we have over 17,000 students who ride our school buses each day, and we do over 240 buses that we roll out every morning with multiple routes sometimes for some of those buses. But we do have a need for our secondary students, especially in high school, that do have internships. Some of them work as well, half a day. I'm getting back and forth to those locations. But then we have many clubs clubs and after-school activities that some of our students have to make that tough choice. If I don't have transportation from the school district, if my parents can't pick me up, I can't participate. So you are opening such great other opportunities for our students. And that is really why our students come to school. Not saying they don't love their English class and their algebra class, but they really come for their fine arts, their athletics, and their after-school activities. So I just want to tell you thank you for this partnership. More importantly, to the bus drivers that are here. And I want to thank you for welcoming our students when they start riding. Our bus drivers are such an important part of our community in Fort Worth ISD. They're the first faces they see in the morning and many times the last when they get off the bus. I know what you do every day, and I know how hard that work is. So on behalf of Fort Worth ISD, thank you for what you do for our city and our community. And I call them my cherubs. So when you see my cherubs start riding your bus, I'm just thank you for taking care of them. So thank you for allowing me to be here this afternoon for the partnership.
Thank you so much.
It's been an amazing adventure, truly, and these are the types of partnerships that we're looking for. Again, community organizations and agencies that are hoping to grow together, and so we're really grateful for Fort Worth ISD for working with us on this. Additional things that we've been doing as a team here at Trinity Metro is increasing and really promoting our transit tours and travel trainings. For those of you who do not know, if you are part of any organization, group, church, it could be a senior center, anything that any group that you may have that may just have curiosities about transit and how to use it, we are happy to host a transit tour and send Trinity Metro employees over to host your group and take them on a tour of transit. If they want a specific travel training to teach them how to use a system specifically for their needs, and perhaps they're trying to figure out their route to get to their doctor, we also have an envoy team that Deetra leads that'd be happy to take their first ride with them. So we are 100% making sure that the community is aware that we're willing to do this to help teach folks and really get folks motivated to use transit. And a few things on the free fare campaigns. We haven't had any in this fiscal year, but we did have the free fare campaign last week. It was really centered around tax-free weekend is what was the goal. But it was called Free Ha, because we're Fort Worth, so yeehaw, but free ha. And really, we are excited to say that it increased ridership by 24% during that 1 week. We also, the marketing team was highlighting shopping centers that they could get to make all their preschool purchases that were needed, and we're really excited to see many people trying transit for the very first time. If you're curious, what's the action? What can I do personally to help? On September 27th, it's going to be National No Car Day. It's a day where transit's really encouraged. We understand not everyone can get to work or school without a car. However, could you perhaps go out to lunch on the bus, or perhaps ride TexRail into Grapevine or Fort Worth for dinner? Whatever it may be, we're encouraging groups, organizations, associations, and individuals to participate and post and help us support on National No Car Day, just to demonstrate, again, that it may not necessarily be an everyday thing, but it could be a wonderful addition to your lifestyle. Are there any questions?
I have a question, Annette. Do we, and this might be a Glenn question. I was going to say Greg, sorry. He's the money man. Do we track at all, like when we have these initiatives, these strategic initiatives to like get people to introduced to Trinity Metro and all of our services, do we know if they keep riding? Do we know like the degree to which this becomes, like what are the trends around, we rode Storytime Train and now I ride to the airport every day for work? I'm sure it's not easy to track, but.
No, it's not easy, although we do have emails for everyone that participated in Storytime Train, and we can say that we had a discount code that was running. So, of course, the fare is only $2, but we also made it even more accessible by offering a 50% discount code, and we had over 400 uses of that discount code, so we were able to track that that's how many people were really motivated by that. Mm-hmm. We will say that the majority of the time it's anecdotal. We did have some families that rode up to 4 times. I wanted to commend, I wish I knew her name, but one mom, 3 kids, I was like, oh my gosh, you're a hero. But she brought her 3 kids 4 times and told us, like, I'll be here again because this is a wonderful low-cost opportunity to take my kids out. And so we don't have specific numbers on how many are actually converted. We may be able to do it via GoPass.
More so the Trinity Metro on-demand app is able to track my account, so at least on-demand we're able to better identify those that stick with us.
Yes. But that would be lovely if we could do that. And we're always working to see what we can do on improving tracking, so perhaps that's something we really think on. Great question. Yes, Isaac.
For the 4th ISD, is that a regional pass or just a local pass for the students?
So we're focusing on our pilot year to be fixed route bus, and then our rail on the TRE as far as Tarrant County, so to Centerport, after which they would have to pay to continue on. So really just focusing on a
Tarrant County.
Tarrant County area.
Excellent. That's still so great.
Any other questions? And our last slide, of course, looking ahead, what does this all mean? Who are we trying to be for the community? This is really our commitment to cultivating long-term ridership growth, accessibility, and deepening our connection with the Fort Worth and Tarrant County community. So thank you.
Thank you, Annette.
Thanks again.
Hi, Deidre.
Good afternoon, board members. I'm Deidre Whitmore, Vice President of Community Engagement and Customer Service. I have lots of exciting updates. It's been exciting all day. And so we're going to keep the ball rolling on this. But we have a full agenda, so I'll go pretty quickly with mine. First of all, I want to start by celebrating our incredible team that we have here. Our Community Classroom Connections Committee recently hosted its first ever school supply drive, and our employees showed up in a big way. I want to thank everyone for their participation, your time, for donating supplies to our school. So we have 3 schools that we've adopted, and so all of these supplies were delivered to M.H. Moore Elementary School. So thank you all so much for your help. Moving on to our customer service snapshot on page 48, our customer service team, they've made progress in reducing average wait times, even during the summer vacations and staff absences. We are not where we want to be, but we are doing a great job and we're moving forward. On pages 49 through 50, when we look at the scorecards, we look at the benchmark throughout across the industries. We don't just look at transit. So we want to look and see how other companies are handling their call centers. What scores are they giving? So actually, the national average score is 90%. As you can see, our team is doing an exceptional job being above. And this is with them answering or asking questions of our customers so that we can make sure that we're taking care of their needs. And so they're scored on how well they do that, how well they're talking to the customer on the phone, repeating their names, and all these things that they're graded on. And also, first call resolutions, those are really important. So when a customer calls, they don't want to be transferred to 5 different people. They call for an answer that they want right now. So we grade our team on that, making sure they have the right answers to those questions. And so national average is 85%. We are trending above that, 90%. I was a little excited about August because we're at 100% right now, but August is not over with yet. So hopefully that number stays up there. But our team continues to do a great job, and we owe that to our manager, our leads, and also our reps who do a great job on that. So moving on, this is our callback satisfaction. So what does this mean? Well, this is when we have concerns from our customers or complaints. And our reps, they actually follow the process through as we are resolving these complaints. We like to call our customers back just to check on them to see, so we resolved the complaint. Are you satisfied with Trinity Metro's actions? Are you happy? And of the 21 calls that we were able to connect with our customers, 91% of them are happy. So we're doing really well on that, again, above the national average. The next slides really show the valid complaints that we get. Our teams, operations, our on-demand service, paratransit, rail, doing a really good job in keeping those complaints down. So great job, team, for all that you do. Moving on to our next page. So when we have concerns that our customers bring to our attention, we like to think about, how can we make it better? So last month we noticed there was lots of concern about arrival times. And prioritizing on-time performance helps reduce stress. It increases trust with our customers and our community because, reliability is one of our values that's listed. So we want to be reliable. And also it creates better relationships when we are doing what we're supposed to do, being on time, picking our customers up, and then also thinking about what they're telling us. So moving on to our community engagement outreach efforts. We expanded our outreach, connecting numerous organizations you can see listed, and we are reaching hundreds of individuals. Charlotte, you mentioned about how do we know if our customers are still using our service. One of the things that our envoys do is when they do travel training, they do reach back out to their customers just to see, are you still using transit? If you're not, why are you not using it? What can we do to help you get back on it? So we do make those periodic phone calls. It's not done all the time, but we do just pick the phone up and just reach out to our customers. But I think that lends an eye to look at to see how many really are continuing to use it. Our travel training growth, this is the graph that shows that we're doing really well. Over the last 2 years, our travel training has really increased. As you've heard Annette said, people are wanting to know about transit, and we want to help them understand how to use it. So what we've all been waiting for, this is what we've been talking about all day, Storytime training. And this is the partnership with Atmos Energy and the Fort Worth Public Library to launch the Storytime Train event. It was fun, educational experience for our young students. The goal behind all of this really was to foster the love of reading through storytelling on board the train. We wanted to promote public transportation by introducing kids to transit early and create a positive transit experience that are memorable and engaging to the community. The event was a hit. It was a social media buzz. The photos, as you can see here, if they show for me. Oh, it didn't do it. Oh, I worked so hard on this. Wait. Okay, so these are the photos. Ooh, it's going really fast. These are the photos from the Storytime Train event. As you heard from Brad, we actually had over 3,000 trips taken on TexRail through the month of July. So we hosted these events on Wednesdays and Saturdays, and we had one train on Sunday, which was the Spanish train. You have to be inclusive on anything that we do. So I really want to big thank you to our celebrity readers. Special thanks to Ben Robertson, Isaac Manning, Michael Crane, our board members, and also our president, Rich Andreski, and our COO, Reed Lanham, who read Snakes on the Train. That was on the whim. He had to really think quickly when we spilled over into a third car, so we had books ready. Also, I want to thank Jennifer Valaire, our executive assistant, who attended every one of the events. I think she just didn't want anyone to touch the sound equipment, so she made sure she was there. Also, Adette, thank you for your leadership on this. This was huge. Everyone in the room, you all had a hand in this, so thank you so much for making this a successful adventure. And you can see all of our Storytime celebrity readers from all throughout the community. And so thank you so much. And also for Dr. Molinar. Is she still here? She's gone. She was a Storytime reader, a celebrity reader also. And next up, we have more events coming up. Our Bus Stop Cleanup Day is coming up September 20th. If you haven't joined a team or formed a team, it's not too late. If you can go online with the QR code there and you can sign up your team, we will cover everything for you. We just want your smiling faces, your muscles, your lawn equipment, everything. Just come out and enjoy a Saturday cleaning all of our bus stops. And then we have our annual scholarship golf tournament, October 27th. Thanks to your generosity and all of our other sponsors, we were able to actually give out $36,000 in scholarships this past May. So that was pretty amazing. So this year's tournament is going to be at Rockwood Park Golf Course. So hope to see you out there. Again, we'll put these on your calendars. Anything that we are having, you are all welcome to attend. Employees will love to see you. And no one mentioned this, but the annual annual bus rodeo is coming up October 4th. So it's time to watch our top operators, mechanics, and CSS team members compete in their fields. So we'd be happy to have you there as well. And that's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Comments? Yeah, Ben?
I see Anthony hiding back there, and reminds me, we had an amazing team before he left us for DART, but a group of employees that helped with inclusion and initiatives to make sure all of our employees were engaged no matter what their walks of life were. And so could you give us just a quick update on just our DEI initiatives internally, externally? How are we dealing with the DBE grants, and how are we doing across the board on DEI and just making sure everyone belongs in our Trinity Metro family?
Okay.
Ben, that's a great question. Can we answer that more comprehensively at the next meeting? Would that be all right?
Yeah, absolutely. Anthony reminded me since he snuck over here from DART for the day.
Yeah. Hi, Anthony.
Yeah, Ben, if you wouldn't mind, if you could give us a list of the topics that you'd like us to cover, and we could come back.
Sure.
Okay.
Love to.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Deidre. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Hey, Glenn.
Good afternoon. Glenn Miller, Director of Marketing, Trinity Metro. I'm here to give you a quick overview of our Blue Line launch that occurred in early June. It's a little 2 months later, but a lot of good stuff here to share with you. First off, the launch event was held at Sundance Square Plaza on Wednesday, June 4th, in advance of the actual service launch on the 8th. We had a wonderful turnout, great weather. No, it wasn't too hot, and we avoided the rain for the most part. So here's some quick snapshots from the event, including the amazing performance by the Clyburn pianists. All right, and then following the launch, we worked with Community Design Fort Worth and held a transit mixer that started down here off of Jones, and then we took a ride on the Blue Line, took the entire route, stopped at Flying Saucer for a couple drinks, and ended up back at Central Station for completion. We were able to get more people onto the Blue Line, which is our ultimate goal. Next page goes over a few of our earned media results. Laura Hanna was able to generate 42 media stories with a publicity value of well over $830,000, which means that if that's what it would have cost for us to secure the same media had we paid for it with our marketing advertising dollars. And here's a list of publications and media outlets that covered our launch event. Social media, this is organic. This is the stuff that we don't pay for, that is in-house. We were able to generate more than 85,000 views, and more than 4,600 people were engaged with our efforts. Plus additional, that's actually the top list there is just our Facebook and Instagram efforts. And then we secured additional 4,500 views on TikTok, LinkedIn, and YouTube Shorts. And just like the Orange Line, we have the benefit of our partners, including Mayor Matty Parker, Sundance Square Plaza, the Clyburn, Downtown Fort Worth, Inc., all posting about our efforts too. Again, we don't pay for this, but it generated an additional 1,600 engagements, which we're very pleased with. Paid media. We have got presently 2 billboards, one on Spur 280 as on your way into town, and then one on Lancaster that greets all of the drivers coming from the south. These are in place through September 7th. We're actually renewing the location on Lancaster for another 8 weeks, I believe. But combined, you'll see that the total views that are scheduled for each of those, again, helps us keep the message really front and center about a Blue Line and its operation downtown. Other out-of-home advertising, we work with the Fort Worth Weekly, just like we did for the Orange Line, to wrap some of their distribution boxes, and all 6 of these locations are along the route for the Blue Line downtown. Great message on the weekly boxes that also includes a little fun map of where the Blue Line goes. So there's no question as to what's going to happen to you when you get on board. Other paid media efforts out of home, we tried something new here with an agency called Q1 Media, which is location-based digital advertising. We're able to get our message in downtown rideshare vehicle screens, movie theater lobby, including the AMC downtown. Select downtown hotels have screens in their lobbies for this service, and some other entertainment venues downtown, including Jake's Burgers and Cowtown Brewing Company. Our search engine marketing was designed to help generate word about the Blue Line, and it had an incredible click-through rate of 12.83%. Wow. So people online able to find out more about that through this initiative. Again, very good results. Paid digital social media. We did teasers the week of June 1st to the 7th. We had a very low cost per thousand, meaning it was like $6.69 to reach 1,000 eyeballs, basically, with our message, and at a high click-through rate of 1.22%. Our goal is 0.5%, so we more than tripled it. Same thing with the actual launch event from June 8th through July 29th is what these results are for, but the efforts are continuing and will continue for months. But we had an incredible click-through rate of 2.45%, high engagement. There were 5 versions of our ads that promoted the basic 5 uses for the Blue Line: get you to dining, happy hour, hotels, conventions, and shopping. The dining was our most popular or most engaged asset. Additionally, we love to tell the story of how all of our services align. So we created a video that showcased TexRail, the Orange Line, and the Blue Line, and how someone could use them all together.
Heading to downtown Fort Worth, DFW Airport, or the stockyards? Y'all don't need a car for that. Take Trinity Metro for hassle-free trips to your favorite Fort Worth hotspots. TexRail and the Orange Line are just $2 a ride, or $4 all day. And downtown's new Trinity Metro Blue Line is free. Let's ride.
Cool. And this service also, the click-through rate was 1.69%, and again, our target is 0.5, so we again more than tripled it, which means that our creative is engaging and the message is important to the people that we're sharing it or serving it to. Furthermore, we created another video that was strictly about the Blue Line that we used on Connected TV, pre-roll video, and also on Telemundo. The version was in Spanish. The attached here is just in English. Again, the video completion rate is how we measure the results for this. Our goal for Connected TV and for Telemundo was over 95%, which we topped for both of those. And then for pre-roll video, because it's before like YouTube Shorts, we look for a completion rate of 50%, and we topped that at 51.26. We also did some other display ads on Telemundo's website and the 817 Biz Daily e-newsletter to reach business people who utilize our service downtown. We employed the use of a social media influencer who the benefit there is that we're able to reach a far greater audience with very few posts. We work with My Curly Adventures, a very strong regional influencer, with a June 20th in-feed post on Instagram and then 2 stories. Again, here's all the stats for that. The impressions, 284,000 were there with a great engagement of 3,400. Again, well worth every penny to get news out there about the Blue Line, but she also rode TexRail and the Orange Line. Fort Worth Weekly, again, one of our mainstays. We've got a special homepage feature that's ongoing where we have a major ad at the very top of their web or top of the page, and then we have 3 buttons below that shows where people can utilize our services to get to their destinations. We also did some website ads, e-newsletter ads, dedicated newsletters, social media posts, and of course, their print ads. Culture Map Fort Worth, another one of our major advertising partners. We had website ads and their daily digest emails. And the big thing here is that when Culture Map Fort Worth posted all 5 of our ads in one newsletter, the click-through rate was an incredible 3 times the average for their services. And we had 952 clicks, which is an outstanding daily digest engagement. Furthermore, print advertising, reaching the conventioneers and visitors downtown. Key Magazine, we were in all 3 issues this summer, inside front cover in June, back cover in July, and in August we had the front cover and a feature story. So incredible exposure there. Rounding out with some radio advertising on The Ranch, which is the big local station, more than 700,000 impressions added there, for total results of nearly 6.5 million impressions on our Blue Line advertising, 34,818 clicks of clickable media with the click-through rate of 1.06%. Again, our target is 0.5, so we more than doubled it overall. And here's the proof for everything that's happened. Ridership was the name of the game. Every week during the first 8 weeks of service, we saw a double-digit increase in ridership compared to Mali the previous year. So I'd like to think that our efforts worked and people rode. So let's ride, let's keep riding. Any questions?
So, as a professional marketing executive, what's your opinion about the Blue Line success for its launch?
I think those numbers speak for themselves. It's incredible that I believe the color lines have been very effective for us. They're noticeable, they're easy to identify, and people understand where they're going. It's very clear. So I believe that all of our partners have found great benefit in the use of it.
Well said. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Greg, it's about debt offering.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I'm Greg Jordan, Chief Financial Officer. Some months ago, we began talking about doing a private placement debt offering, primarily to help us cash flow some of the larger capital projects that we have. I'm real excited about the outcome of this. We collected results last Thursday, and so I'm going to jump right into it. We got the results last Thursday after the packet had gone out, so there's a slight difference between these numbers and the ones that were published, but nonetheless, very excited with the way that we priced. This is the Series 2025 tax-exempt bond. This is a $28 million, $110,000 private placement. We priced at 3.49% on this. This is a 5-year term. We expect to be funded by September 17th. Again, this is an exceptional rate for this. The second one, these are contractual obligations, also known as KOs. This is a $12,055,000 private placement. Just like the other one, this is a 5-year term. This priced at 3.83%. And this is, we're anticipating funding September 17th. Both of these really speak to the strength of the overall organization. I would be remiss if I didn't highlight that we had help from some outside partners. Laura Alexander and Steve Murray from Hilltop Securities were instrumental in this, as well as Jonathan Krantz and Brandon Hill from Kelly Hart and Hallman. Without their collective help, we wouldn't have been able to accomplish this. Final debt schedule. Bids are due. Were due from the bank last week. We're seeking your approval today. We'll come back for your approval for the 2 resolutions momentarily, and then we got a little bit of work to do over the coming days, and then we expect final closing and funding in September. Again, this is very exciting news for the organization, and I'll answer any questions the board may have. Thank you.
Questions for Greg? Hearing none, let's move on.
Very good, thank you. Second presentation I have for the board today is the proposed budget update. So if you'll recall, some months ago, we began the budget conversation. We started talking about the budget during the budget retreat in May. In June, we presented the preliminary budget for feedback. The preliminary budget was organized by mode and complementary activity to sort of bundle everything up so we could get a better view of the cost of running the business. So, for example, bus ops, radio control, and bus admin were all presented together. The preliminary budget presentation was quite robust in its overall discussion, and so today we are going to give you just a brief highlight of a couple of the changes that have occurred since then. Nonetheless, the proposed budget is responsive to our consumer needs, increasing demand, and it's also considerate of the FIFA event. We've got some money budgeted for an upcoming color-coded route at the end of the year, too, so that we can keep those wins and successes moving forward for us. And then we've got operating capital and capital projects. These are routine maintenance, vehicle purchases, et cetera. These are also included in the budget. So after we presented the preliminary budget, again, the preliminary budget was substantially complete. However, we had some more work to do with some of the departments. We also needed to go back and sharpen our pencil in a couple areas. To highlight some of those changes, sales tax, we saw an increase of $3 million. Now, throughout the year, we've been highlighting some of the challenges and weaknesses we've been seeing in sales tax, but we've yet been mindful of the potential for that to turn around. The last three readings, respectively, have been 7%, 2%, and 5% year over year over prior collections. So due to the strength over the last few readings, we felt comfortable relaxing some of the sales tax numbers. We also took another look at the capital expenses as well as the capital grants. We did this to sort of better realign the two of them, so you'll see some slight changes there. On the personnel side, we went back and worked with the departments on overtime, and we reduced overtime where appropriate in the budget. And then we also reduced purchase transportation. This was due to the fact that the Mansfield on-demand service was, Mansfield pulled out of the on-demand service for FY26, but they did that before I could incorporate that in the preliminary budget. So moving from the preliminary to the proposed budget, we made that adjustment. Now, overall, revenues are conservatively budgeted. Sales tax from Fort Worth, Grapevine, and North Richland Hills increased 2.1% over the FY25 adopted budget. Sales tax represents 59% of the total revenues, including federal grants. Federal grants are the second largest revenue source, and they represent 27% of total revenues. Now, there are two noteworthy one-time revenues in here. We had $6 million from the DART, which when Silver Line starts running into the airport, we'll see a $6 million receipt there. We'll also see the $12.5 million. This is sort of the cash-out refinance, as we've talked about before, for the TRE vehicles. That's $12.5 million. So excluding federal grants and one-time revenue, the remaining revenue increases 1.5% over FY25. So again, very conservative there on the revenues. Core expenditures, excluding capital and financing costs, grow by 4.6%. The budget provides funding for routine capital purchases. Again, this includes items such as 15 CNG buses. These are to replace aging vehicles. We've got safety and security measures in there, such as barrier doors and TRE camera replacement. So again, no staffing increases in FY26. We got a couple next steps that are noteworthy. We're going to come back in September and seek board approval for final budget adoption, and then we're also going to return sometime in the fall in the coming months to get into an in-depth conversation with you about TexRail funding and how that all looks too. So we've separated the large capital from the budget and included what we again would call routine operating capital, and so we're marrying those together, and then we will come back and discuss the large non-operating capital projects with you at a later date. With that, I'll answer any questions the board may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it very much. We'll go into the action items. Go right ahead.
Good afternoon. I'm Kelly Shields. I'm the Chief Administrative Officer, and I am going to be going over item number BA 2025-36 for Masterminds Leadership Training. Back in September 2023, the board approved a contract with Masterminds to do leadership training. And it's leadership training from supervisors all the way up to ELT level with executive coaching as well. And what this board action item is to request an extension to the contract for leadership training, so it'll go through April of 2027. There is funds available in our operating budget, so I would recommend that the Trinity Metro Board of Directors authorize the President and Chief Executive Officer to modify the contract with Masterminds Leadership LLC for an additional $238,796 for leadership training through April of 2027. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
Move to.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. The barrier doors as an action item.
Move to approve.
We have a motion. Second for approval. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. It's going to go pretty quick. Reed?
Michael's first.
You're welcome.
This one's for air conditioning. Can it be?
Move to approve.
Good afternoon, Board of Directors. I'm Reed Lanham, Chief Operating Officer. I've got action item BA 2025-38 on page 97 for your consideration. I think we can all agree that air conditioning is a pretty vital component of our bus fleet. And we have entered into an agreement in the past in 2022 with Convoy Servicing. They're a Thermo King certified distributor of AC parts. In those 3 years, we have experienced some price increases, supply chain issues that have upped the price on us a little bit. So this action item, the recommendation is the Trinity Metro Board of Directors authorizes the President and Chief Executive Officer to increase the amount of the board-approved contract BA 2023-10 purchase of fleet air conditioning parts approved November 28, 2022 with Convoy Servicing Company to purchase Thermo King air conditioning parts for buses by $260,000 with a 10% contingency of $26,000 for a total revised not to exceed contract amount of $661,000. This will allow us to keep our AC on our buses running smoothly.
Any questions?
Move to approve.
We have a motion.
Second.
I hear a second?
Yeah.
And a second for Michael. All those in favor say aye of BA 2025. Aye.
Always
any
ask for
opposed?
AC on 108-degree days.
This is a very opportune day to ask for that.
Unanimously. Reed, you're still up?
Yes, sir. The next item on page 100 is BA 2025-39. This action item is seeking your approval to enter into a memorandum of understanding with our partners at DART concerning the Silver Line. As the Silver Line nears completion, we are integrating them into our Positive Train Control back office. That is a regional system that was originally implemented between TexRail and TRE. The understanding has always been that once Silver Line came online, they would be entered into the fold, if you will. This MOU will govern how the costs are paid for and reimbursed. Trinity Metro does hold the implementation. We held the implementation contract, the hosting contract, and the maintenance services agreement for Positive Train Control. We will pay those invoices fully and then seek reimbursement from DART for their share. And this again outlines how that will happen. So the Trinity Metro Board of Directors authorizes the President and Chief Executive Officer to enter into a memorandum of understanding between Trinity Metro and Dallas Area Rapid Transit for reimbursement of Trinity Metro's costs associated with DART operating the Silver Line commuter rail system at the DFW-IA, which is the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport Station, and the DFW-IA Terminal B.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Reed. You're still on, I guess.
I am still on. Third time's a charm. The next item, BA 2025-40, which is on page 101 of your packet. This, now that you've approved the MOU, now we can talk about some of the costs that will be reimbursed. This has to do with our PTC data hosting agreements that we have in place with Herzog Technologies. In 2023, the board authorized Trinity Metro to enter into a new contract for PTC hosting services. Now that Silverline is coming on board and to efficiently deliver PTC across the region, there's going to be an additional cost for that. That cost comes in at $1,844,000, $330.97. That will be the Silverline's portion. That will be fully reimbursed by DART for any costs incurred by the Silverline within our hosting contract. Our recommendation to the board is for the board of directors to authorize the president and chief executive officer to amend contract number 23-033 with Herzog Technologies, Inc. for Positive Train Control hosting services to include the DART-owned and operated Silverline commuter rail system for an amount not to exceed $1,844,330.97. That's important. Add the $32,400 for ongoing AT&T and Verizon wireless connection services for TexRail and TRE for a total overall contract amended amount of $1,876,730.97 for a new total authorized contract amount of $8,968,794.39.
Move to approve. We have a motion?
Second.
And a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Reed.
Thank you.
We get asked all the time as a board, and I know leadership, to make sure that we use our relationships with DART and with DCTA as best we can. And we've tried to tell the public and the RTC that we do is whenever it's possible, we get together with DART and DCTA. That we have an excellent relationship with both of them. And we do these kinds of things to save everybody money. And this is just an example of us getting together and getting the best possible price we could for a really expensive service. So thank you for getting that done, Reed.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi.
Annette.
Okay, everybody. Item number BA 2025-41 is the Fort Worth ISD Partnership Memorandum. Just to recap, Fort Worth ISD and Trinity Metro are proposing a new partnership to provide free transportation services, specifically fixed route rail within Tarrant County and paratransit on Trinity Metro services for high school students during the school year. It's a one-year pilot program for the 2025-2026 school year that aims to remove significant barriers for students, enabling them to access educational extracurricular opportunities beyond the school campus. So the recommendation is that the Trinity Metro Board of Directors authorizes the President and CEO to enter in the memorandum of understanding between the Fort Worth Transportation Authority, Trinity Metro, and the Fort Worth Independent School District to initiate the pilot program for the 2025-2026 school year with Fort Worth ISD students to access Trinity Metro services for free.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries very unanimously. Thank you all.
Thank you.
These are replacing.
Greg?
Good afternoon. I'm seeking approval for two resolutions, the first being resolution number R2025-08. This is for the $28 million, $110,000 value. A resolution adopted by the Subregional Board of Directors of the Fort Worth Transportation Authority authorizing the issuance and sale of the Fort Worth Transportation Authority Note, Series 2025, establishing the security therefor and prescribing other matters with respect thereto.
Move to approve.
Motion. Our second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. This is the second resolution. This is for the value of $12,055,000. Resolution number R2025-09. A resolution adopted by the Subregional Board of Directors of the Fort Worth Transportation Authority authorizing the issuance and sale of the Fort Worth Transportation Authority Public Property Finance Contractual Obligation, Series 2025, establishing the security therefor and prescribing other matters with respect thereto.
Move to approve.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
This time we'll have the president's report.
I'm getting the distinct sense that some of us have places to be. So I'll be. I'll be brief. So. A couple things. One, you may have heard me talk about how Trinity Metro engages with the community, and you've heard a theme today, and that is the Trinity Metro agenda is not about Trinity Metro. Trinity Metro's agenda is about supporting all of the goals of this city and county in its growth and development. So in that, we have been realigning our leadership team over the last year. And I just want to acknowledge 3 really important hires that complement an already outstanding team. The first is you heard and you know about Reed Lanham. Reed comes to us 10 years at Trinity Metro, about 20 years in the industry. Reed started out swinging a hammer on the railroad, has deep experience, but most importantly, Reed is a leader, has got all of those great leadership traits, leads by example, and is a role model, and really happy to have Reed in this leadership role. So, yes. Now, it's great when you can hire from within, and we try to do that when we can, but we also look for the best talent, and I'm pleased to say that Andre Marshall is joining us. Andre, could you stand? Andre joins Trinity Metro as our Director of Facilities Maintenance. Andre's most recently served as Facilities and Construction Manager at Vectrus Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. So you have a better commute now, right? Your prior positions include Facilities Operation and Maintenance Manager at the United States Embassy in Iraq, and Facilities Maintenance Engineer in Afghanistan, Iraq, Jordan, and Syria for General Dynamics. He's a graduate of the engineering program at Long Island University, and he served in the United States Army. Let's give Andre a round of applause.
You have a shorter commute, but hopefully this won't feel like a prison, too.
What's fun about the hiring and the postings that we're doing is the enormous response we're getting and the high-quality candidates. So I hear other businesses and my peers around the country are not having as much success, and I think that's a credit to Trinity Metro and the reputation. So, Andre, thank you again for coming over to team. Yes. And then the final org announcement I'd like to make, and he is not with us in the room today, is Ted Zimmerman. So Ted Zimmerman is joining us as Vice President of Marketing and Communications. He spent his career in St. Louis, where Ted's most recent role was with the St. Louis region's Bi-State Development, which serves as a resource for economic development. Previous roles include Market Manager at the Walt Disney Company and Operations Director at the Gateway Arch. He earned a degree in business administration from Southern Illinois University, and Ted is also active with the American Public Transportation Association, where he serves as secretary of the APTA Marketing and Communications and Customer Experience Committee. So let's give Ted a round of applause, even though he's not here. I think you can tell from the 3 hires that we're in great hands, and they, as I mentioned, they complement an already very talented leadership team. So thank you, Mr. Chairman. Back to you.
Thank you, Rich. I also will be brief. We've talked in this room, and we're all friends in this room, about relentlessly pursuing excellence. And I mentioned before this letter, and what we pursue is the kinds of things that are simple, but we have to do every day, and they get tiresome. And it's saying hello. It's making sure you do your job right when you're cleaning the bus. It's the safety kinds of things you have to think about every day. It's being on time, and very seldom, like never, do you get a letter. And I'm going to read this now, and I'm sorry, but I just think every now and then everybody needs to understand what we do is hard, and we have to be relentless. And when you get someone that out of the blue talks about the excellence that we all have created here, I think we ought to hear it. It's from a TCU professor, Texas A&M law professor. I understand that you are the board chair of Trinity Metro. I am a law professor at the Texas A&M University School of Law here in downtown Fort Worth. I moved to this wonderful city just last July, relocating from the University of Iowa facility. I wanted to take a moment to express my sincere appreciation for Fort Worth's excellent public transportation system. As a resident of the Ryan Place neighborhood, I have the pleasure of using the number 6 bus line daily for my commute to and from the law school. The bus stop is conveniently located just a block and a half from my home, making public transit an incredibly practical and quick choice for my daily routine. What has consistently impressed me over these past months is the exceptional quality of your service your transit system provides. The buses are clean and well-maintained, creating a pleasant environment for all passengers. More importantly, I've been struck by the professionalism and friendliness of every bus driver I have encountered. Their courteous demeanor and helpful attitude truly enhance the daily commuting experience. Additionally, buses arrive at conveniently regular intervals, allowing me to usually plan my schedule with confidence. I was particularly grateful for the period in early August when bus service was provided free of charge. This generous initiative not only demonstrated the city's commitment to accessible public transportation, but also introduced the system to residents who might otherwise have tried it. I must acknowledge that as someone who may not represent the typical demographic of bus ridership, I've observed that public transit could benefit from broader community adoption. The system is remarkably affordable and provides such a pleasant transportation experience that I genuinely wish more residents would discover its advantage. Greater ridership will not only support the system's sustainability, but also foster a more diverse and vibrant public transit community. In my role at the law school, I frequently participate in faculty recruitment efforts. And I want you to know how often I highlight Fort Worth's excellent public transportation system as a significant selling point for prospective faculty members. The convenience, affordability, and quality of the bus system serve as genuine assets when we're encouraging talented academics to join our community. Thank you for continuing to prioritize and invest in public transportation. The bus system truly is a treasure for our city, and I hope it receives the recognition and support it deserves. Please know that you have at least one very satisfied daily rider who deeply appreciates the service you provide. That was a wonderful letter about all of you, so thank you. There being no further business to come before the board, we're adjourned.